Hi everybody. It's been a while since I've done a review. It's actually like 5 in the morning, but I just felt inspired. Wait. This is, in a lot of people's opinion, Rancid's best album. Most of those people are really big Rancid fans. Of course, this isn't your casual Rancid album. I mean, most people you think that are casually into Rancid or punk rock in general have An Out Come the Wolves, or the first one, or Indestructible. This one is the release between 2000 and Out Come the Wolves. It was this follow-up to Out Come the Wolves. And Out Come the Wolves, which I will probably review later, everyone knows how good it is. And this was, it was a tough act to follow. But this did a very, very good job, and I'll tell you why. Let's start with the packaging and the cover, right? This is, I'm not sure if the original ones, or this might be a reprint, because I don't know if they made the paper cases like this back in the day. By the way, how much better are these? I remember my father once said to me, how cheap is this? They're making them out of paper now? They can't even afford the plastic? And I'm like, Dad, these are so much better because these don't break in a corner. Because everyone's done that, whether it was this or a PlayStation game or whatever. But anyway, yeah. Cool artwork, always interesting. The picture, which I assume was just taken as he was moving quickly, and they just said go with that. I'm not sure if it was planned or whatever. Pretty standard beyond that. There's a book in here, but this one actually did come with a cool little thing in it, which is a Hellcat Records mail order list. Like, old school, fill it out, send this in. I'm not sure if it would still work, honestly. I don't know if they still do the distribution, but this is probably from 1998 when this album came out. But I just thought that was kind of cool that someone had left that in here for all these years. The Epitaph Hellcat Records Distribution Center. Okay, another great thing about this album is there's 22 tracks on it. Something that Rancid always tried to do is put a lot of songs on their albums. The first one has 16, and then everyone after that had more than that. It's either between 19, 22, 21. There's a lot of songs on every Rancid album, which is a good thing. I think the second album is 24, which is astounding. Granted, they're short songs, but that's still really, really cool. Anyway, I mean, there's not much you can say about this album particularly that is different than, most Rancid albums in aspects of the band because, all but one of their albums was recorded with the same 4 people. Brett Reed, Tim Armstrong, Lars Frederiksen, and Matt Freeman. Brett Reed has since left and been replaced by Brandon Stinker. I can't pronounce his last name. The guy used to be in the Used. You know this. I don't know why I'm giving you a history lesson. But anyway, yeah. Whether it's a superior bass playing on this record, or the great guitarist, and of course the great lyrics that Lars and Tim always seem to come up with, it's just good. It always is, and it always will be, hopefully. In my opinion, but I'm not getting into that. Anyway, let's start talking about some tracks. The intro, I don't know what the sample's from, but it just starts out really cool, and you just feel like instantly you're part of something cool. I love records that do that. Immediately start listening to, and a lot of bands, like especially in punk, seem to do that. It's just you start a record and there's like an intro on it or the opening to a track, and you just immediately feel different. You immediately feel like you're like into it. And that goes right into Blood Clot. Such a good street, such a good song. I said that because the third track is Hoover Street, which is another great song. Just such a great little build song, a little bit slower from Rancid. This album got a lot of like organ on it. It's got a lot of reggae elements. It was very much different from and Out Come the Wolves, which is just so much pure punk, which is why it was so good, I think. Then you got Black Lung, good song. Life Won't Wait, great song. New Dress, awesome song, awesome vocals by Frederiksen on that one. Warsaw's awesome. Hooligans, you got, I don't remember the name of the artist that it sings on it, but his verse and his lyrics will start, and just that Rancid, it's so good. And Crane Fist, which is just a really weird song. It's about kung fu and just like, where do you come up with these? Winchester Square, such a good song. Backside, who would have thought? Nice, fun change of pace again. Cash Culture and Violence, great. I think Dickie Barrett has vocals on it. I'm not sure though. I'm pretty sure it's him though. Cocktails, awesome. The Wolf, 1998, great lyrics again. Tim Armstrong just doing the thing he does best, which is just have that really cool, kind of smooth lyric delivery. And, who doesn't love that? Lady Liberty, cool song. Run for Suspicion, Turntable, Something in the World Today, great. Corazon de Oro, which is, very fun little reggae song. Finding Love, which Rancid always seems to put one of those songs on there. Except for Indestructible, which seemed to have a lot of I'm sad. I'll get to that one over Indestructible. Anyway, and the last track on there was Coppers. And Coppers is such a great song, such a great way to end a 22-track album. Really the only complaint I have with this album, I don't know. I mean, you put 22 songs on an album, that's one only thing, is like, if this was even a 15, 20-track album, you could really make this a 10. But you put 22 songs on the album, and some are going to stand out more than others. It's just really hard to do. I'm appreciative that they give us so many songs, but it's like, if you have 22 tracks on an album, you're going to skip one or two, you know? You know, for me, an album would be 10 out of 10 means you need to not be able to, you wouldn't want, you put it on, you wouldn't want to skip a song. Like, it's very hard to earn that for me. So this album's a 9 out of 10 overall. Very, very great songs. Very, very great follow-up, and after what many consider the greatest punk record of the 90s and maybe even of all time. But I'll get to that when I talk about it. Even though it doesn't really seem like I have to review it. If you don't know how good that record is, then you're seriously out of the loop, I guess. Anyway, Rancid, Life Won't Wait, 1998 off Hellcat Records. Pick up this record. If you've never listened to Rancid, I would definitely say this should be the second record you should buy. You know, it's different from their pace, but if you're a Rancid fan and you haven't listened to this one yet, if you know you like Rancid, you'll probably like this, if you're really into Rancid. Casual fans of punk rock, I would not suggest getting this first. Okay, more reviews to come. Peace, unity, and I hope you guys subscribe and leave comments. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
I got some hard times to bunks upon the subway. It's a long way to go to get to Leicester Square. A hard line, so one you gotta cross, the one you gotta cross to get you anywhere. Mike's on his way to payback's vindication. A fist that cost me out in his backstreet education. The 8-ball sucks and low, then enemy's faces show. It's crystal clear and it's so great for bones to become broken here, yeah. I got no knife for nothing.